Wait, do not skip this video, because heaven says the person who leaves right now may miss the exact moment that was meant to change their entire life forever. Something dangerous is happening around you, and deep down you already feel it. For the last few weeks, your spirit has been under attack because a breakthrough with your name on it is closer than it has ever been before. This is not just another motivational message. Heaven says there are people watching this who were seconds away from giving up completely before being pulled here by a force they cannot explain. You thought your pain was punishment? You thought the delays meant God forgot about you. But the truth is far more terrifying than you realize. The enemy only attacks people carrying something valuable. And the reason your life suddenly became heavy is because your breakthrough is no longer far away. It is directly in front of you right now. But listen carefully, because this warning is urgent. Some doors sent by heaven only open once, and many people lose their destiny because they hesitate one moment too long. Right now your heart is beating differently for a reason. Your soul recognizes this message because heaven already decided that today would become the turning point of your entire story. And before these next 10 seconds pass, you must make a decision. Will you ignore this message like everyone else? Or will you finally step into the breakthrough heaven prepared specifically for you before the door closes forever? The moment you clicked on this video, something in the spirit world reacted instantly. Because heaven says there are people watching this right now who have no idea how close they were to losing the breakthrough attached to their destiny forever. You thought you were just tired, but the truth is, your soul has been fighting a battle your physical eyes were never supposed to see. Have you noticed how suddenly everything became heavier for no reason? The emotional exhaustion, the confusion, the sleepless nights, the strange feeling that something was about to happen, even though your life looked completely normal on the outside. That was not anxiety, because heaven says your spirit sensed a breakthrough approaching before your mind could understand it. The enemy does not attack empty people. And the reason your life became a battlefield is because there is something on your future so powerful that darkness started panicking before you even arrived there. That is why people betrayed you without reason. Opportunities disappeared suddenly, and your heart felt under constant pressure. But this is where everything changes. Because heaven says the pain you survived was never punishment. It was preparation for a moment, so life-changing that the old version of you would never be able to handle it. The breaking was necessary because God could not pour a greater future into the person you used to be. Right now, while you're listening to these words, a door connected to your destiny is already opening. And heaven says many people will miss their moment simply because they stopped believing seconds before the miracle finally appeared. That is why you cannot quit now, because your breakthrough is closer than the fear trying to stop you. Right now, there is something heaven needs you to understand before it is too late. The sudden chaos around your life was never random, because the moment your breakthrough started getting closer, the spiritual attacks around you became more aggressive than ever before. You called it stress, exhaustion, and bad luck. But heaven says darkness was trying to drain your faith before the door to your destiny finally opened. Have you noticed how people suddenly started changing around you? The same people who once supported you became distant. Conversations started feeling strange, and some relationships collapsed without explanation, right when you needed support the most. That happened because heaven was exposing every connection that could not follow you into the next chapter of your life. The terrifying part is that most chosen ones quit during this stage. They mistake spiritual pressure for failure, not realizing the enemy only fights hardest when someone is seconds away from a life-changing breakthrough. And right now, heaven says you're closer than you have ever been before. That strange feeling in your chest recently was not your imagination. Your spirit could feel something shifting before your physical life showed any evidence of it. And deep down you knew your story was about to change forever. This is why you have felt emotionally disconnected from the old version of yourself. Lately, heaven says the delay was actually protection. If certain doors opened earlier, the people around you would have destroyed what God was trying to build inside you before it fully matured. That is why you were hidden, isolated, and forced into painful seasons nobody else could understand. But now the waiting season is ending. Something massive is approaching your life. And heaven says the pressure you survived was proof that your breakthrough carried more power than the enemy wanted you to discover. The attacks increased because your destiny was getting too close to stop. And this next part may shock you the most. Some people listening to this will witness a complete transformation within days, but only if they stop doubting themselves before the final door opens. Because heaven says your breakthrough is not coming someday. It is already arriving now. Stop and listen carefully. Because heaven says what is happening to you right now has happened to every chosen one moments before their entire life changed forever. The confusion, the emotional attacks, the sudden pressure on your mind, and the feeling that something dangerous was surrounding your future were all signs that your breakthrough moved closer than ever before. You thought your life was falling apart, but in reality, the spiritual war around your destiny had already begun. The enemy becomes loudest when heaven is preparing to elevate someone. That is why your peace was attacked. Your confidence suddenly weakened, and negative thoughts started appearing from nowhere during the exact season your breakthrough was getting ready to arrive. Darkness wanted you emotionally exhausted before the miracle connected to your name finally appeared. And this next part may explain everything you have been feeling lately. Heaven says your spirit already sensed the future before your physical life could see it, which is why your soul started disconnecting from people, places, and habits that no longer matched your destiny. You were not losing yourself. You were separating from the version of you that could not enter the next level prepared for your life. That is also why isolation became part of your journey. God had to remove distractions, fake connections, and environments that were slowly poisoning your spirit, because the calling over your life required a stronger version of you. Some people thought you disappeared, but heaven says you were being rebuilt in silence. The shocking truth is that your breakthrough was never delayed by heaven. It was delayed because your spirit needed to become strong enough to carry the blessing without destroying yourself after receiving it. And now heaven says the preparation season is almost over. You survived battles that should have broken you completely. There were nights when nobody knew how much pain you carried, moments when your heart silently screamed for help, while the world around you kept moving like nothing was wrong. But heaven says you stayed alive because your purpose was never meant to die in that season. And now the moment you were unknowingly being prepared for is finally approaching. A door connected to your destiny is opening right in front of you. And heaven says the next decision you make could completely transform the direction of your entire future. Because this is not just another season of your life. This is the beginning of the breakthrough that changes everything forever. Stop for a second. Because what you are feeling right now is not life getting harder. It is a countdown that most people never recognize until it is already too late. Heaven says your breakthrough is not approaching slowly. It is already standing at the edge of your life, waiting for you to become the version of yourself that can handle it. And the shocking truth is that the pressure you've been trying to escape is actually the last barrier before your entire reality changes forever. You thought the betrayal broke you, but heaven says it actually exposed who could not survive your next level. Because when elevation is coming, everything unstable around you starts collapsing first. So nothing can sabotage what God is building inside you. That is why relationships ended suddenly. Doors closed without warning, and people you trusted became strangers overnight. The enemy does not fight your past. The enemy fights your future. And that is why your mind has been under attack with fear, doubt, and overthinking at the exact moment your destiny started getting closer. Because if you lose your focus now, you lose what heaven has already prepared for you. And listen carefully to this part. There is a moment coming where everything you've been waiting for will suddenly start moving at once. And if you are not spiritually prepared, you will think it is too good to be true and step back from your own miracle. That is how chosen ones lose what was already assigned to their name. Heaven says your delay was not rejection. It was protection from entering your breakthrough with a weak mindset that could have destroyed your future after receiving it. So every silence, every pause, every unanswered prayer was secretly strengthening you for what is about to arrive. And now that strengthening season is ending, because what is coming next is not small, not normal, and not something you can ignore anymore. Heaven says your name is already attached to a door that is opening right now. And the only question left is whether you will step forward or repeat the pattern of hesitation that delayed you before. And this time, the door will not stay open for long. Stop. Don't move away from this moment, because heaven says this is the exact point where your story either upgrades forever or repeats another painful cycle. What you're feeling right now is not motivation. It is activation. And that means something in your destiny has already started unlocking while you're still watching this. And the terrifying truth is that most people miss their breakthrough, not because it never came, but because they hesitated at the final second. Heaven says, you have already survived the part that destroys most people. The confusion, the betrayal, the isolation, the nights where you felt completely unseen. All of it was designed to make sure only your strongest version arrives at this exact moment. And now there is only one thing left standing between you and everything you prayed for. Listen carefully, because this is where everything becomes irreversible. If you step forward in faith, your life will start shifting in ways you cannot explain. But if you step back in fear, you will keep seeing this same door from a distance, wondering why it never opened again. Heaven says the delay is over. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, but right now. Because the energy around your life has already shifted into your breakthrough phase. And the only reason it still feels delayed is because your mind hasn't caught up with what your spirit already knows. So this is it. The moment where hesitation ends and destiny begins. Because heaven says if you're still here listening, then you were never meant to miss this door, only meant to walk through it as it closes behind you forever.